Well, first is midday. We are following breaking news. We have just learned new information, a flood of information on Friday's deadly attack on the CDC. 11 Alive's Dan Kennedy was there and joining us live from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation headquarters, where officials just wrapped up that news conference. Dan, what are the big takeaways here? There was a lot.
Yeah, there was, Aisha. We can tell you the gunman used a mixture of 5 different firearms, all of which they say, according to authorities, stolen from his father. The GBI recovered more than 500 shell casings from the scene. They say several CDC buildings were hit nearly 200 different times. And this morning, the agency is now, the GBI now says they think they know why the CDC was targeted.
A search warrant executed at the residence of the shooter revealed written documentation that expressed the shooter's discontent with the COVID-19 vaccinations. These documents are currently being examined by GBI certified profilers, and they are being shared, have been shared, and will continue to be shared with the FBI Atlanta field office.
The GBI says the gunman, Patrick Joseph White's family, is fully cooperating with the investigation. He lived with them at their home in Kennesaw. He has no known criminal history. Evidence gathered in this case, they say, indicates he had recently verbalized thoughts of suicide. In fact, police records show 10 calls to 911 from that address in just the last couple of years. The calls included help for domestic disturbance and suicide threats. We did ask the GBI and the FBI today if they would elaborate on the timeline of events, including when the gunman showed up to the CDC's guard shack and what happened when Officer David Rose first encountered the gunman, but they would not elaborate on that at this time. They say it is a complex investigation, and they still ask anyone with information that includes photos or videos from the scene to give them a call at 1-800-597-TIPS or to submit all that information on the GBI's website. Aisha?
Dan, so we're talking about 200 shell casings, 200 bullets hit about 6 buildings there on the CDC's campus. All of those workers are working from home for the rest of the week. Let's talk about the FBI assessment here into the danger or the threat against our public health workers. This is very frightening for all of them.
And something to consider as they begin to make their way back to work. It's one of the reasons they've been given the option to telework for the next few days. In fact, all CDC employees in the Atlanta area told they can work from home for the rest of the week, Aisha, as they begin to assess the security there at the entire CDC campus. This could take weeks, if not months, to replace and repair a lot of those windows. 150 different windows damaged there. And then you also think about all the doors and the locks inside that building that were kicked down as police made their way through to ensure the safety of everybody inside on Friday afternoon. A lot needs to be done before those employees can return.
All right, Dan, thank you. We also learned there was a daycare on the campus as well, so a lot of layers here. One thing they specified, they want to keep Officer Rose and his family front and center of this investigation and their loss and the department's loss. An online fundraiser for the family has now raised more than $330,000. If you would like to donate, we do have a link posted on 11alive.com. And Monday, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. visited the CDC, where security showed him all that damage from the recent attack, including shattered windows. He also met with DeKalb County Police Chief and privately spoke with the widow of fallen Officer David Rose. Some current and former CDC employees have called for Kennedy's resignation, citing his controversial vaccine views and budget cuts.